Woo! What's up, guys? I'm a ghost now, I guess. Huh. Figured your career would be dead before it even started. Oh my god! Heart attack! I'm having a... Now, where were we? You were gonna make dumb ghost puns? Oh yeah, I'm a ghost now, and I'm gonna haunt you. So, as you can clearly tell, it's Halloween, and I wanted to do a video on Monday and one here, and also one on Friday, but I figured that's too little time for 3 videos in a week. I mean, I could, but the quality would probably... Just get to the point! Oh, yeah. I recently watched the movie Nightmare Before Christmas, and for some reason, I was able to remember the lyrics and plot so perfectly, even though I haven't watched it in 5 years. It just goes to show how memorable the movie is, and everyone who worked on the project really gave it their all. It also gave my sister and every other goth girl a favorite film to obsess with. Which brings me to my main point. I found this old CD my sister gave me for Christmas. It's called Nightmare Revisited, and it's a compilation album soundtrack containing covers from various artists. And to summarize my experience, it's really a joy to listen to. Because the main thing with it is that you have so many different genres of music all clashing. It sounds like the cover artists listened to the original soundtrack and said, yeah, we're gonna do it our way. Like a jazz musician who just wants to make a jazz version of every song. So let's just dive in and review this madness. Okay, before we start, if this is your first time listening to this album, you might think it's just the soundtrack to the movie. I mean, that's what I thought when I put it in the CD player. Now I know what revisited means, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised. The first track, Overture, opens up nicely. It's a rather fun medley, opening with a marching band type instrumental by Devochka, giving us a very loose remix of all the songs, and really giving the energy that will pump you up of what's to come. An original composition that is just that, an intro that has nothing to do with the rest of the album for the next part to come.
'Twas a long time ago, longer now than it seemed.
'Twas a long time ago, longer now than it seemed.
The next song, Opening, is very sweet. It's almost yet another original song, with the instrumental of the soundtrack opening. Danny Elfman's narration is soothing, and a welcome to the listener. But the redundancy of a double intro is just weird. If it was up to me, I would have just chosen this as the intro.
This is Halloween!
Red and black.
It's slimy green.
Aren't you scared?
Well, that's just...
It's Halloween, red and black and slimy green. Aren't you scared? That's just fine.
By now, this is the funniest point of the album, by far. You have Marilyn Manson, this guy, doing a cover of what is originally an upbeat This Is Halloween. But his version? It's surprisingly good. It's not like his cover of Sweet Dreams Are Made of This, but I totally dig the heavy rock and roll remix they did. And my only complaint would be, it feels a bit empty at points. Other than Tim Scott helping with the backing vocals, Marilyn is doing the majority of the vocals of the townspeople, which shouldn't be the case. The original song had a whole town singing, in order to give the track a full scale of life. And the heavy rock version lacks a bit of that. But other than that, it's great. Has an energized groove. Could be worse. Could be a lot worse.
There are few who deny it. What I do, I am the best. There are few who deny it. What I do, I am the best.
I'm probably not the only one, but this track is just a tad bit annoying. The point of the original is to have our main character Jack explaining his reasons for lament, while at the same time showing us who he is and his role in the town of Halloween. The All-American Rejects version though, the instrumental is sweet, but that's the only compliment I can give. The frontman singer is just so whiny, and he carries the song like if Lil Xanax decided to be an emo rocker. His voice sounds like a cat being dragged, like a creaking door. It doesn't make sense. Danny Elfman gave a nice blend of sorrow and warm delivery in the movie, and here it's kinda ugly. It sounds like a suburban 13-year-old whining what he wants for his birthday. I wouldn't complain if it wasn't the fact that he's the lead vocalist and kinda ruins the instrumental. But as a very good compliment I'd have to give, the backup singers add a layer of quirk when they say merci. It's just a nice touch. Even though there's no need for them, they do a pretty good job. And yeah, that's all I have to say. The instrumental is pretty good banger. This song is beautiful. It's all you need from an ambience piece. The little experimental synths that give off the vibe that, yeah, this is Frankenstein's lab. The little you bubbly synths. All I can say really, the transition into the forest gives off a nice cozy feeling and goes back to a more eerie Halloween job. Good track.
The smell of cakes and pies are absolutely everywhere.
Now, contrast to All-American Rejects, Flyleaf, they're another teenage rock group that does the cover justice. I'm not very familiar with them, but the work they do here, oh god, it's absolutely gorgeous. They do What's This so much justice. With the lead vocalist, I believe it's Lacey Mosley, she has a very curious nature to her delivery, which is exactly what the song is about. Something about her performance, it's so poppy, it's cute, and it's a great cover. It's beautifully crafted with blaring guitars and a nice, strong, sturdy performance. Lacey has such a curious nature in her singing voice that I just can't help but admire.
Is it filled with a pox?
A pox? How delightful, a pox.
Oh boy, my favorite song. It's wild. I can't help but compare this to the original. Like, in the movie, it's a quirky little ensemble piece that shows the disconnect between the town and Jack, and the communication barrier between them. It's not entirely the town's fault for misunderstanding. Jack simply couldn't put into words the magical feeling of Christmas, but this cover? The lyrics just don't fit the song. It starts off all triumphant and goes from hardcore rock to nice, cozy, beautiful choir. Like the Polyphonic Spree should have just made a different song. It feels too dramatic to be this kind of song. Too epic for what should be a smaller, fuller piece. But I will give it this. It does seem that everyone is jamming out and giving it their all. The pauses into a piano ballad almost towards the end with choir is so peculiar. It's a great banger. You know, tracks like this, it reminds me, yeah, it's a Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack. It's weird because up to this point, it's like the album doesn't know what it wants to be. Does it want to be a soundtrack? Does it want to be a genre-swapping cover album? I don't know. This track is so similar to the original and alongside whatever came before it. I almost wish the Vitamin String Quartet did something to switch it up. It's fine, it's passable though. I see myself skipping it if I were to ever revisit this album. I mean, at this point, I've heard so many different variations of the other songs that I don't see any reason to listen to this version that's so similar to the original.
Something's here I cannot see. What does it mean? What does it mean?
Something's wrong with Jack. Something's
I
wrong with
dislike this track a little bit. Sparkle Horse, I love your acoustics and soothing, almost broken vocal delivery, but the genre that you're going for doesn't suit the song very well. The original is supposed to be tense, obsessive, like a fast-paced monologue that Jack has as he's trying to figure out Christmas. This version is slow. I don't know, it's a poor imitation. Just listen for yourself and compare the two. See which one gets the message across better through the lyrics. Alright, whose idea was it to have corn on here? Like, who said, you know what this album needs? This album needs a bit of corn. I mean, God, it worked for Manson a little bit. Why do I feel it doesn't work here? Well, as much. Maybe because the group is imitating a literal children's song, but it's wild enough for a good laugh. If you want to hear it, it's wild. Perfection. A very good hard rock interpretation. Good job. Nabbed? Yeah. It's a good remix. Very good. Ooh, yes. This is exactly what I wanted. The song starts off very Latin, may I say a bit tribal. No lyrics, but the acoustics are very well paced. It's like a jazz band or a folklorico. A very good interpretation. It still has that tense atmosphere that the Oogie Boogie song had in the movie, but it's very, very upbeat, you know?
Since there's something in the wind. Since there's something in the wind.
You could tell me that this was Sally's original voice actress, or just the song stripped right from the movie with a layering of backup vocalists, and I'd believe you. Like other cuts on this album, I just wish it was a bit more different so I could distinguish this from the original. My head. This gives me a headache for some reason. I mean, the synths, the drum machine, it's all ugly. You have a distorted guitar in there. The mixing is weird. I don't know. It just hurts to listen.
It's not good.
What have I done? What have I done? What have I done?
Plain white tees? Good job. This kind of cover is what American Rejects should have done. The singer isn't whiny. He sounds young and full of life. The only thing I'd say is he sounds a bit restrained towards the end when he should be giving his all. But it's overall fantastic. I love it. It's a club banger. This track is a complete club banger. Unlike the Christmas Eve montage by RJD2, this actually sounds good. The synthetic drums sound clean and upbeat. It's not a pain to listen to. Ew. Kinda reminds me of millennial rock. I mean, it's fine. I love the robotic vocals towards the end. It's a nice rock ballad, especially towards the end when you have Sally and Jack singing to each other. It's a pretty good ending.
And finally, everything worked out just fine.
Christmas was saved.
Danny Elfman, good job. You managed to reimagine this album in such a way that hits all the spectrums of music except rap. Good thing you didn't include rap in this album. It's unfortunate that you had to create this abomination. I'd say Nightmare Revisited, 10 out of 10. Great album. Hey, what are you doing? Ah! Oh, did I do that? Happy Halloween, viewer.